Hello crafty friends and welcome back. I have another tiny layout today for Scraptember, and today's prompt is multi-photo, and I'm also playing along with Striptease the Scrapbook Way. So that is where we try and use our branding strips in various ways, and so today's challenge was to use it for journaling. And so of course, I made mine extra challenging, and I am actually doing a 6x8 size layout that is going to go into my Destin, Florida scrapbook. And this is just some photos and stories of us, all of my family, coming from various directions, trying to get to Destin on that first day. And of course, we all had some, well, not all of us, but some of us had some travel issues getting there. We all did get there on the day we were supposed to, just a couple hours later than we were supposed to get there. So this picture that I'm working on here is my sister Dee and her daughter Lauren. Lauren lives in Reno, my sister lives in Kansas City. So they were actually meeting up in, I think, in Texas somewhere. And Lauren, due to weather, she just about missed her flight, and Dee begged them to wait and wait and wait. And luckily, there was some reason why they couldn't take off, and so Lauren did make the flight. Her luggage did not. So when we arrived the next day, that we actually picked up her luggage for her and brought that to the hotel for her. So that is that story that I'm going to tell. And then so I'll kind of backtrack here that I tried to get tricky with my, get inventive with my border strips, that I was actually going to try and put them on the outside of the page protector and have them trifold and somehow use some kind of like a Velcro connector so you could kind of unfold it and read the whole story, but my brain just was not figuring out a way to make that work. So you see, I ended up just cutting my border strips, and eventually you will see that I will write the journaling on those strips for that particular story. So this section, so I did move that section down to the bottom of the page because this story took a little more space to tell, of us flying from Iowa to Destin, that we had to go through the Charlotte airport. And when we got to Charlotte, that we landed just fine. We had about 35 minutes to get to our next gate, which only took about 5 minutes, and so you would think there would be no problem. Allie, for some reason, that her flight, when we all got booked, that she ended up in a seat all by herself in the very last row. Well, so all the rest of us got off the plane, and we're thinking, well, why is she not getting off the plane? Well, apparently the jetway had broken, and so they couldn't let any more passengers off the plane. And so she was stuck on the plane and missed our flight from Charlotte to Destin. So luckily there was another flight about an hour and a half, 2 hours later. And so she is 22 years old. So she did what any 22-year-old would do, and what we all said she should do is go to the bar and have a drink. And she actually had a couple drinks and actually made money because we were all sending her Venmo money to pay for her drinks, and of course her boyfriend did too. So she actually ended up making money on the fiasco and got a few drinks on top of it. So as soon as her flight came in, her luggage came with ours, so we picked it up. And there you can see my journaling there on the back of the tags. And so we just pulled up to the gate, picked her up, and drove to the hotel. So there you can see the journaling is going to go on the back of those tags, and then you can just pull those out from the top of the pocket page. So just using my tear tape to create that pocket section there. And then earlier, while I was telling that story, you saw I did write down the story on the border strips. And of course, I did meet my prompt for September that I've got 3 photos on this 6x8 size layout. And so recently I had just purchased these beer, oh, what are they, brads, but I usually prefer to, well, I wasn't sure what was going to be on the backside, so I did pull off, well, I had the pocket there, so I couldn't poke everything through, so I did pull off the tines, and then I used my hot glue gun to attach those two there. And so here you see I'm using the Vicky Bouton stickers. I think this is from a couple years ago. Well, when I pull off these tiny dots and put them around the page here, they don't stick, and so I do have to go back and add some liquid glue to each of those areas to make sure that they stick. So that was kind of annoying, but I think that's kind of just how those puffy stickers work, that I almost always put some kind of extra adhesive to make sure that they stay. And let's see, what else do I do here? So I'm still working on getting all those little dotty dots taken care of. But pretty much we still got to the resort by, I don't know, I think it was around 5 p.m. And so we still had a little time to get some sunshine at the pool. And after we got done at the pool, we actually took a little walk out to see the beach. And then we all went back to the condo, showered, and stayed on the resort that night to just kind of have a dinner and a drink and get ready for all the adventures at the pool the next couple days. So there, oh, and then as I've said before, that I am trying to include the gold splatters on most of my actual pages that are not part of Pocket Pages. And there I've added that splatter and going to show you a close-up. And so here are the close-up photos here. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. And if you're new here, welcome. If you wouldn't mind giving me a like and subscribe, that would be awesome. I would love to see you come back again. So thanks for stopping by, and we will see you next time. There will be links down below for both of the hops as well, so go check them out and give everybody some love and maybe find some new people to follow. So thanks again. Bye.